Amazing Ariel.
All the boys and girls in this room have one thing in common. They are all juvenile diabetics. And this week they are part of the second annual Belize Diabetes Association Summer Camp. The venue for the camp is the IT Vet compound in Belize City. Participants are all children and young adults living with type 1 diabetes. Anthony Castillo is the president of the Belize Diabetes Association.
During the course of this camp, children basically will be taught how to manage themselves living with diabetes. All the children in this camp are living with type 1 diabetes. During the course of this week, children will be taught how to cope with this condition. At this time, there are no known cure for diabetes. Hence the reason, as a child, if you're diagnosed with diabetes, then you'll be living with this condition for the rest of your life. So this camp will be teaching them how to cope with their condition to avoid all the complications that go along with diabetes.
What is the age range for the children attending?
We have from 6 to age 24. It's for children and young adults.
Now you're targeting children. What about the parents? Because children don't usually make the majority of the decisions for themselves when it comes to food.
Yeah, precisely so. At this camp, we have children and also some of the parents who accompany some of the children. But the general idea is for the child to learn how to cope with this condition by themselves. Because you'll be living with this condition for the rest of your life, mommy and daddy will not always be there. So we want the children to learn how to cope with the condition, how to do their blood testing accurately, how to take the medication, the right time to take the medication, and how to do it properly as well.
At the start of the camp, all of the participants had their blood sugar level tested and the result recorded on a chart that is a part of their camp package. Castillo says that there are no known statistics on the amount of juvenile diabetics in Belize. Current data shows that of the adult population between the ages of 20 and 79, 13.1% are living with diabetes. But through a partnership with Jamaica and St. Lucia, Castillo says Belize has logged on to a project called the Management of Diabetes in Youth, which should provide critical data on juvenile diabetics.
And one of the outcomes of this project is for us to farm data, gather data, and form a register on children living with diabetes. So we are now in the process of gathering to find out exactly how many children living with diabetes in this country.
How much of the three-pronged approach that the Diabetes Association has will be taught to the children here during this camp?
We have quite a bit of professionals with us. They'll be taught about exercise. We have physiotherapists who will teach them the use of exercise, how to exercise, living with diabetes. We will have doctors with us and our healthcare professionals who will be teaching them about medication, and also nutritionists who will be talking about food. So it will be all rounded. There's a wealth of knowledge here, and I'm sure that the children will benefit at the end of this camp.
The camp opened this morning with a little over 30 participants. This year, the Belize Diabetes Association of New York is again partnering with local organizers to make the camp happen. Vanessa Jenkins Young is the president of the Belize Diabetes Association in the Big Apple.
Well, we've been working with Mr. Castillo and the BDA from our existence, which is about 2 or 3 years now. And last year when we came, we brought 2 podiatrists, if you recall, and he mentioned the amount of children that had diabetes and that the amount of children that we don't even know have diabetes, and we really felt that we wanted to do something substantial. Our mission is about education and empowerment, and so bringing in the therapists will focus on that piece as well.
The 2 physical therapists, Thea and Ariel, told Love News that with a little help from friends and family, juvenile diabetes need not be an insurmountable obstacle to a full life.
I normally work with adults, but here I'll be working with children with diabetes, and what we're going to do is we're going to do exercise with them, teach them some of the signs to look for when they're hypoglycemic, meaning when their blood sugar runs low, and if that's happening, that they should have a snack before they exercise. Exercise can also be really important to build confidence and empowerment, because when you have juvenile diabetes, you might feel different than other children. And if you've got an activity that you love to do, it can make you feel proud and confident about yourself. So we want to bring that out in the children and also give them a way to help monitor their blood glucose levels, because exercise will decrease your blood sugar. So it's another way besides insulin that you can help monitor your blood sugar and diabetes.
Is there a specific exercise that children who are diabetic need to do?
Not necessarily specifically different from exercise that anyone else should do. It's good for everyone, but diabetes type 1, specifically with the children that we're working with here, it's a key factor in controlling their blood sugars. So there's their diet, but there's also exercise. As Thea mentioned, it helps to lower the blood sugar. So they need to know how to incorporate that into their lives, and so I'm hoping the takeaway message will be to have it be a part of their daily lives, and it can really help to prevent a lot of the other problems that diabetes can cause as they get older.
The children are being taught to watch what they eat and to be able to monitor their diabetes closely. But in a world where the emphasis, especially on television, is on food, the flashy advertising campaigns are added pressure for juvenile diabetics. Ernestine Augustus is a nutritionist in New York.
I often talk to the kids about snacks because they do a lot of snacking, and try to get them to create healthy snacks. And I know it's difficult. I've been here a couple of summers working with teachers, and I observe what the kids eat, and I look at it, and I'm not on a perfect diet, or I'm not, but I maintain good health pretty much. But looking at some of the things that they're eating, there's other substitutes that they can use and still have the same effect. And basically, when they're using those healthy snacks, they're going to feel better because the healthy snacks help them to feel better. They start thinking differently. And I hope that the kids will take away from here and share with friends, because we can prevent some of what might come on from having a poor diet, especially in starch. But we eat a lot of that here in Belize.
How do you get across to children? I mean, the businessmen, the advertisers, they make these things so appealing to the children that they go out and they get these unhealthy food and snacks, or they convince mommy and daddy to buy it for them?
Well, I try to use, I have a kind of persuading way of telling kids to do things. In New York, I really work on nutrition in my class with my kids, and when they see me eating something I tell them not to eat, they remind me, and that's, I know they've got it. Because once you know it, you might know that I should not have that chips, but I want it. But then you start thinking, and you say, and you might put it down and not have it that day or that moment, because everyone get that urge. It's just really... it's really hard maintaining a diet when you look at all the foods that you can't eat. You're basically left with almost nil.
The helping hand from a small organization like the Belize Diabetes Association of New York is doing a world of good for the children who are taking part in this year's camp. Jenkins Young says it is a good feeling to give back to the community.
I have to tell you that it definitely brings a sense of purpose. I mean, I'm very accomplished in my personal life, and really at the mid-year of being 51 really gives me something to focus on other than myself, my husband, my children, and just my everyday life. So it really brings me a sense of purpose.
And while on assignment this morning, I had an opportunity to get my blood pressure tested. The result?
Your systolic pressure is 115 millimeters of mercury. The diastolic pressure is 75 millimeters of mercury. The heart rate is 68 beats per minute.
This means that I should be healthy enough to cover the ending of the camp. Reporting for Love News, I am Patrick Jones.